Kemi Badenoch wants you to believe she's the kind of person who will always do the right thing. The girl who once ratted out a classmate for cheating, but when it's her own political allies breaking the rules or spouting racism, suddenly doing the right thing doesn't seem to matter. And if you've noticed that, you're not alone, because her record tells a very different story, and it's one that she would rather you ignore. In this first clip, Kemi tells a story from her childhood days about reporting a classmate for cheating and not getting any thanks for it. She frames it as proof that she'll always stand up for what's right, even when it's unpopular, painting herself as someone who values principle over popularity.
It wasn't just the SWAT in the class. I was the person who would say that person is copying notes from the other person. I was the tattletale in the class, like getting people into trouble. Because even then I hated cheating, because there I was. I wanted to be first in the class, and I've done all the work. And then there's some people who are copying notes and saying, why should they get away with it? And so I'd raise up my hand. I remember there was this extraordinary day. I was in, I must have been about 14 or 15. And I said, he's cheating. I stood up in the middle of the exam, and I stood up and said, he's cheating. He's the one that's doing it. And that boy ended up getting expelled. And I didn't get praised for it. And I was a relatively popular kid at school. And people said, why did you do that? Why would you do that? And I said, because he was doing the wrong thing. And someone said, you don't belong here. That you don't know how to behave, you don't belong here. And I've heard that all my life. You don't follow the rules, you don't do what you're supposed to, you're always sticking your head above the parapet, you're too direct, you tell the truth when you don't need to tell the truth, when you should pipe down. And I didn't belong there.
Hang on a second. So you're 14 years old, and in the middle of an exam...
14, 15.
14 or 15, you see a boy cheating. In the middle of an exam, in the middle of an exam hall, you stand up and you snitch on this kid who's cheating, who ends up getting expelled.
Yes.
No wonder you're so unpopular back at school. You sound really annoying.
I was. Do you know what? The people who did that sort of thing hated it, but someone did say to me...
It was the right thing to do.
Yeah, that you were the only person who'd ever have the guts to do that.
But snitching in school is easy. Standing up when it costs you politically is hard, and that's the part of the story she doesn't live up to. When it was Boris Johnson breaking his own rules, suddenly the outrage was overblown. The regulations had trapped him, and we should draw a line and move on. Right, the rules bite for everyone else, but your side gets context and closure.
Were the public wrong to be upset about Partygate? You say it was overblown.
No, they were not wrong to be upset about Partygate. The problem was that we should not have criminalised everyday activities the way that we did. People going out for walks, all of them having fixed penalty notices. That was what ended up, creating a trap for Boris Johnson.
But wasn't the problem that people in government didn't obey the rules?
Yes, that's right. People in government didn't obey the rules, but they were not MPs. They were often staffers, and I think that the way that we had created those regulations ended up entrapping...
The Prime Minister and the Chancellor both got fines. It wasn't just people who work for them.
Indeed, but as we saw with those events, when people see the full story of what actually happened, they understand that things were created, problems were created because of the way that we had created the regulations. But if I may, one of the things that's very important is that we draw a line under all that happened over the last 14 years. We've lost an election, a historic defeat, and simply churning over every single incident, I don't think is going to be helpful for dealing with where we are today.
And let's not forget when Tory mega donor Frank Hester said looking at Diane Abbott made him hate all black women and that she should be shot. Kemi said that she didn't feel like anything in particular when she read it and called the whole row trivia, which is an odd choice of words when trivia is a man openly talking about racist violence.
Make you feel when you read those alleged comments for the first time?
It didn't make me feel anything in particular. I just read them and I thought that these comments were inappropriate. I hadn't actually realized the news for a while, but it seemed to be something that was dominating the headlines. In fact, I'm still amazed that over a week later I'm being asked about it.
Well, you felt strongly enough about it to come out on social media and say that they were racist, even though at the time the Prime Minister hadn't done so.
Yes, that was a week ago. Yes, that was a week ago. A week ago. I'm surprised I'm still talking about it.
Are you surprised? Because this is a man who is the Conservative Party's biggest donor. We know that he's given £10 million to your party. Are you comfortable with the fact that that money is not being given back?
Yes, and as I said earlier this morning, and also, as I said last week on Tuesday when I explained my views, I thought that the comments were racist, but he had apologized. I think when people apologize, we need to accept that and move on.
So, which Kemi are we meant to believe? The teenage hall monitor who's always doing the right thing, or the politician who shrugs at rule breaking and racism? Doing the right thing costs something. If you only do it when it props up your image, it isn't principle, it's PR. Thing is with Kemi, she thinks that you're going to forget about what she's done in the past, and she's only going to believe what she's telling you now. But we don't forget, we have the receipts, which you can see in the video that's on screen now. Thanks for watching, don't forget to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time.